Hey guys, so I know it's been a while, but I think I've finally gotten mostly over the coughing anyways, and I'm feeling a lot better, so it's time to start doing some unit reviews again. So today I'm going to be reviewing Kasumi, the new unit in Japan who is based around the Tagatame movie. And it turns out she's actually not that bad. So, before I get started today, I just wanted to do a quick shout out to Alex, who actually is apparently in Japan right now and gave me a code so I could obtain one of the items that I will be displaying in this showcase. So, thank you very much to him. This is not something that you can get outside of Japan, so we are pretty much limited to whoever's inside of the Japan and can actually watch the movie, which is going to be for a limited amount of time. So once again, thanks again to Alex for supplying me with that code. So, as you can see, she actually has a lot of HP, and she is a pure support unit. You'll see her HP a bit later when I actually go into a map with her, but it's pretty freaking ludicrous. And she is designed to be a healing unit, kind of not too unlike Fiona, but she's a lot better, and you'll see why here in a little bit. So let's just get started with the Kaigan as we always do. The good news is she's basically a farmable unit of sorts. It's very easy to get all of the frags. I have extra frags. I chose not to max gate 3 because you actually have to use real sins and horns. But for the purpose of this, I went ahead and maxed gates 4 and 5 for you guys to see because the event gave it to me and I did want to do this. She's actually pretty interesting as a unit in general. So for her gate 1, as always, it's pure stats. Gate 2 is going to upgrade, I believe that is a bishop skill, which originally gave healing and cast time ratio down, and giving an additional 20% HP and 5% agility. She's actually not that slow as a support. We did not max the Lust Gate for anyone who was interested. It's 50% HP and light unit defense plus 20. So Gluttony Gate, once again, Gate 4, pure stats. And on the final gate, it doubled the healing value of her map-wide heal. Kind of like Fiona's map-wide heal, except this one actually does something. So let's get into her Nenso. So my Nenso is not maxed yet, and that is because I haven't finished her event yet. However, we can still take a quick look at it here and admire it, because it's actually not that bad of a Nenso. So the base stat is HP. And for the unit group buff and trigger, it is damage versus dark. So I assume that it's referring to the dark phantoms in this particular case, so this is going to be basically exclusive to the event, but it does work on all of the main characters, if you even bother to run them during this event. That is, they really aren't cut out for this. As for the next group, when Kasumi uses it, a certain group of units that are related to the event, basically all of the regular versions of the Dark Phantoms, including the main characters, will get additional healing and dark resistance, and when it's maxed, it's going to give 5 guts. So basically, it's worthless in that regard. But here we get on to the good part, what Kasumi gets out of it. So Kasumi at max is going to get like 1300 HP and like 100 magic attack and buff duration plus 1. Since it's a 5-star Nenso, and they decided that it isn't going to be considered a farmable one, she's going to get agility plus 10, and it's also going to give her an AoE attack, something that she doesn't really have on her kit. She really doesn't have any attacks on her kit. No lie. She is pure support otherwise. Well, except for 5 turns in a match, and we'll go over that here in just a minute. So on to the Nenso VCR. So this is a crown of sorts. It's going to give 500 HP, 15 healing, and I forget exactly what that is. Do I have it here that I can pull it up? It is silence resistance, which is actually pretty good considering she is a caster unit. And the gear ability is going to allow her to do a 5-turn transformation that I will show you in a map. That's actually really freaking good. As for the rest of her gear, now this is the special piece of gear that I was referring to that Alex allowed me to get by supplying me with a code. And it doesn't look like much at first, but it does do quite a bit. So it's going to give max jewel plus 20, as well as 30 magic attack and 8 dark resistance, but really what we need is the ability on this. So it gives a passive 500 HP as a buff to Kasumi. And because that HP is considered a buff and it's not a stat on the gear itself, it will add on to the 500 HP from the VCR, boosting her HP to even higher levels. It is also going to give her a 30% rate heal, if I remember correctly, because I don't have it pulled up right now. Now, for this last gear slot, there are obviously a lot of options, just your standard like damage reduction options that I've been doing for 1,000 times. Now, I don't think she has any speed accessory on her right now, so you can always give her speed. However, if you are playing in Japan, I highly suggest using the 3rd anniversary gear. This is going to give you 33% rate heals, and we'll be going over in a bit why that is so freaking good on Kasumi. Other than that, there's really not much else to put on her, to be honest. She doesn't really do much outside of buffing, to be honest. Except for those 5 turns she has her transformation state. Now, as for her loadout, I chose to go with her main and sub, as well as the Priestess reactive, because it is a heal. It'll help keep her alive on the map, and her regular reactive, I think, just buffs her dark resistance, which I think is kind of useless. I'm going with both of the healing buff passives to up her healing as much as I can. And let's go ahead and go into the map now. So I'm going to be running with Moa's leader skill today, and that is because if you're running a light team, you're probably going to be running with Moa's leader skill unless you're running a pure magic team. So yeah, we'll turn that on. We'll turn animations on, and let's go. Don't ask me why Masamune is a sub right now. There's a reason for that. It has nothing to do with this. I just haven't removed her yet. Okay, so we'll make a quick move with Moa. And now on to Kasumi. So, what makes Kasumi great? So, she has this map-wide heal here that's going to heal for 1,500. Which is actually a really good map-wide heal if you think about it. 1,500? I mean, that's like over 10%. That's basically more than a regen armor per turn for your entire team. However, we can make this better. So she also is going to have another buff. Now this one only has 3 uses, unlike the 99 map heals she has. But this is going to give a nice 30% to all stats except agility, which is going to give you 20% instead. It's also going to give you 50 damage versus dark for the event itself, but that's kind of useless outside of that. And this is going to also raise your max HP by 30%. Which means now when we go to do this map-wide heal, all of a sudden we're healing a little bit more. However, that is not the end of it, obviously. We can go into the sub and choose this 25 jewel skill at the very bottom, which is going to increase her heal power even more. So now we go to heal, and all of a sudden we're doing a map-wide heal for almost 3,000 HP. This is Kasumi in her untransformed state. Now she does have other skills, although they're not quite as impressive. We do have this 50 skill, jewel skill right here, and what this is going to do, it's going to lay down panels, and when you stand on the panels, it's going to give you 15 to all elemental resist and 15 to heal percent, which is basically just going to mean you're going to heal more, but otherwise it's kind of useless in my opinion. The next skill is actually very good. It's unfortunate it only has 1 cast. So Kasumi can cast this on an ally. Just move over here real quick because I'm going to have to gather some jewels soon. And this is going to cast Clock Up on her and that ally, making it pretty easy for her to get off on a good footing. So moving on to the rest of her sub, we do have another heal, This time it's not a rate heal, it's just a normal heal. So do keep that in mind, and it's going to give you damage versus demons plus 50, which I believe will work outside of the current event, and could actually be helpful. So this next 51 cast skill is a one-time guts, which is stupid. I hate that. It doesn't really do much. I mean, it might come in handy, maybe. And finally, this AoE here. It can be cast at a range, and it's going to give debuff resist plus 100 for 3 turns, as well as obviously disabling the debuffs that are already on you. So, moving on to the other stuff, this is the reason why I said you should get that 3rd anniversary gear. It starts as a 33% rate heal, but with all of Kasumi's buffs, you can buff that up to like a 70% rate heal or something, which is really good. It's an instant cast, and it's just going to straight up heal you for like 70%ish of your HP. It's really, really good in my opinion. And we do have some other skills in here, and I will be going over them in just a minute. However, first thing we are going, and that is that's the rate heal from the piece of gear from earlier. First thing we're going to do though is we are going to transform. So now Kasumi has turned into some sort of goddess type character. And goddess she is, because she just got pretty freaking powerful. So let's take a quick look at Kasumi. You'll notice that she currently has 18,000 HP and 1,700 magic attack. Not bad for a free unit. And I need to quick pull this up right now because I actually do not have her up like this, so I can see her skills. Clearly out of practice here because I'm unprepared. So the first skill we have in our arsenal here is a map-wide physical attack and magic attack minus 30%. And I do want to point out that that will actually charm too, or at least I think it can. Let's roll it out of the way. And now on to the next attack. I guess I'll just quick show the damage values on these. So the first attack is going to be a single target attack. That's almost 7k damage. That's not too bad. She doesn't have any kind of charge up, unfortunately, so she's never going to be hitting super good numbers. But once again, you do have to remember, Kasumi is a free unit. And while there was technically a code that you needed for like an extra 500 HP, that's not going to make or break her. She doesn't need that. It's just nice to have. And when you hit with this single target attack, it will reduce all of your opponent's stats by 40%, including agility, for 3 turns. So, not that bad. Not that bad at all. And it's also going to do additional damage versus dark units. And by dark units, I mean like dark phantom units, not like dark element units. And she also has this AoE, which is, once again, hitting about the same amount of damage, a little bit less. And this AoE is going to silence. And finally, just to show off before I show the moves themselves, we have this one-time cast 40 joule skill that is an AoE around her 100% rate heal. Now, obviously, it's healing a lot more because of all of the healing buffs I put on her recently. But not bad at all. Really not bad at all. It's gonna come in clutch at some point. Obviously, you're gonna have to manual with this unit to really make good use of her, though. So let's take a look at the skills themselves. Let me quick turn off the super fast speed here so we can see them in all their glory. And we'll quick show off the rate heal. Alright. And now we'll gather up some jewels so we can show off the rest of the kit. And unfortunately, that is a one-turn transformation. It would have been nice if she would have gotten skill use +1, but unfortunately, Gumi thought too far ahead. She is only a free unit after all. She can't be too powerful. Can't have any of that, no family. Alright. So, this is the heal, and this is the attack. So I'm going to demonstrate the attack and not the heal here, because I am not going to be able to generate enough jewels in order to show off both of them. Did I remove the speed up? Yes, I did. And there you go. So that is Kasumi, a free Takatama unit based around the movie in Japan. Alright. So for the final overview of Kasumi. Is she a good unit? Yes. She's not bad. If you take a good look at Light and how stacked it is right now, she's not really necessary. I'm not gonna lie, she's not that necessary. Is she nice to have? For sure. She's definitely nice to have. Is she weak? No. Is she super strong? No. Is it worth getting her? Probably. She is a free unit after all. You owe it to yourself to at least farm out her materials so you can at least have the Kaigen on hand. You never know when an event map might come up in the future where, just for some odd reason, Kasumi's kit is like the go-to thing for that map. And you're going to be kicking yourself if you don't have her, or at the very least, have all of her stuff ready. So that way you can just Kaigen her straight up and then go right to town on whatever that map is. Is it a guarantee that such a map will ever happen? No. I do suggest having it on hand, though, because you never know. As for her Nenso, make sure you do the event, so that way you can max limit break it. That buff duration plus turn plus 1 is a big deal, as it'll make you have to cast your buffs less often. Super nice to have, super convenient. Especially with the heal buff, as she's going to basically want to cast her heal buff on herself and then just spam the map heal, most likely. At least outside of her goddess form. I really wish we could get a nice up-close picture of the goddess form, but unfortunately we can't. So, yeah, that is Kasumi. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I do have more videos planned. I was still coughing a bit through this one. As you might have noticed, I paused a couple times, but all in all, I do think that I'm ready to get back on the horse and do more videos, so look forward to that. I am likely going to do Moa next, the leader from this video. So thanks for watching as always, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it. I mean, this is obviously a different kind of unit than what we're used to. It's clearly just a schoolgirl, but you know, I think that all in all, compared to what she could have been, she turned out fine. I mean, have you seen that HP? Anyways, guys, I will see you next time.